All right, I'll give a few thoughts, my 10 cents, what have you, on the Predator Badlands film. Now, keep in mind, I have yet to see Prey. I just couldn't get interested. But it has a following. There's people who said, I was surprised. It was actually pretty good. So I always intended to check it out. Just keep forgetting. I'll make the time. I'll take a look at it. But since then, they've made another one. So now it is an interesting thing if they do an ongoing series of Predator films that jump around through time. So it's almost like an anthology series of Predator. And so you had, the Indian tribe in the previous one, and now this one jumps all the way into the distant future and outer space and whatnot. And it's this new alien, new version of the alien. I mean, the Predator, and that sort of thing. And I'm not crazy about the new design of the Predator here. But it's a few snippets of scenes and the overall film. The rest of it looks pretty good. There's some rather surreal looking scenes here, especially with Elle Fanning. I guess she's supposed to be, and the rumor has it she's actually an android, which gives nods to, once again, a connection to the Alien universe. And since they had the same owner, they'll probably try that again. I did not care for the Alien versus Predator movies. The first one, it was all right. It was fun, but still stupid. The second one, I didn't care for at all. Most of the Predator movies have been bad. There's the first one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that is pretty much the best. It's like with Alien, you have two Alien films that are good and are really good. And then everything after that, it just falls far short of that. For Predator, I think the one where they took them all to the planet and hunted them down, it had some interesting moments. So it's as close as any of the rest. Being fair, I haven't seen Prey, so maybe get that to be of anything of interest to follow up on after the first one. The second one was kind of went nutty and everything. It's not awful, but then they had a couple of snoozers, and then they did this Prey movie, and now this, which could be interesting. It could be good, could be great. Just don't know. Other than the design of the main, I keep saying alien, Predator, which is an alien. I don't know. I just don't. The look doesn't compel me all that much. It just looks kind of stupid. And of course, used to the main look of the Predator, there's been slightly different versions here and there in the different films, but this one, it is new, and it will have its own look and everything. But as far as going beyond it, will this be a more approach of their standalone films of the overall story of the Predator? And because they, jumping through time and all that, and will they ever do another one that's set in modern times, and all that kind of thing? I mean, they could, but it is an interesting approach. Whereas to keep an ongoing narrative that connects to one film, the only connection being, well, it's the same species, but when you've got the movies that are that far apart in time, it's not much other than it's, the same species of creature. And to cross over with Alien, and initially I would have thought, no, don't do that. But after the failure of Alien to find any other narrative beyond what the original two movies did, which are the only movies worth watching, since then it's just been one misfire after another. For the moment, really the absolute worst Alien movie is Alien Covenant. There were some stumbles and stupid ones. The Alien 4 movie was stupid. But Alien Covenant is just beyond ridiculous. Prometheus, showed promise of something else, but didn't even really have any idea of what it was doing, and actually shrunk the alien universe because, well, the aliens are cousins to humanity, and that's about it. And it was stupid. I didn't really care. I guess at some point there that Ridley Scott was thinking of going ahead and combining it with Blade Runner, and like the androids and the replicants were, you know, like competing versions of one another out of that, and you could conceivably do it. But then what for? You know, I don't know. But at this point, what else is there to do, if anything at all? Just, hey, it could be fun and stuff, and you can hope for that. But if they were to combine one another, it would at least give them some other story, and once again give a chance to expand the universe beyond how small Prometheus made it. As far as Prometheus goes at this point, I would be inclined to just never mention it again. Even though you look at the two Alien movies, there really was no other story to tell other than that mysterious space jockey in the original movie. And it wasn't until Prometheus that they dealt with it. With Predator, you would have it's another creature of this world, and then you can expand it into other alien creatures and that sort of thing. And where does that go? And maybe that leads to something else in an ever-expanding universe of these, sci-fi, fantasy, adventure stories. But for the most part, haven't really done that because they keep misfiring here and there. Will this do it? I don't know, especially if it's in the template of the next movie. Could, like I said, maybe take place in modern times. Maybe even reunite with old man Schwarzenegger. It's, that kind of thing, for a Predator movie. Connecting it to that. I could do that. But just jumping around and whatnot, it's kind of a little difficult. But if they get to an Alien Predator crossover, I suppose they could. Alien, of course, had Romulus, which I didn't think was all that great. It looked cool. But it did well, so there's going to be a sequel to that. So does that eventually cross over with it? I suppose it's possible. And maybe there'll be nods, little Easter eggs between the two franchises, and eventually they do there, or cross over and hopefully do a better job than the other two that were done earlier. But beyond that, just from this teaser, except for the design of the Predator, the rest of it, looked interesting and cool and whatnot. So there's only a rumor here and there that this time the Predator is kind of the main lead, perhaps the protagonist, that you're rooting for the Predator, and I guess one of the other Predators is the evil one that he has to take down or on or what have you. And with the different look of it, maybe there's a whole other sect of this species, and to call this character the Predator might not be the right term, because he might not be interested in the apparent obsession or cult that these creatures live under, to go around and hunt other species and whatnot for this sport that they're obsessed with. So, and that would be an interesting take. It'd be a different, thing. And I gotta hand it between the two. Yeah, more times than not, the Predator films is like that one where they abducted them and brought them to the planet, and that sort of thing. They were trying to do something a little different from the templates of the original film. Whereas Alien, for the most part, it's the same thing, I mean, you had the original, which was a horror movie in space, and then you had a war movie. After that, they really haven't thought of what other environment, what other different type of template they could shift things around to give it a fresh look at it. So anyway, that's what the teaser inspired me to think about. And to just judge it on the design is the same thing with the Superman movie. I don't like the redesign of the suit. I don't. It doesn't look great to me, but it can still be a really a good movie, and I hope it is. And the same is true for Predator Badlands. Maybe it'll be a fun film.